WF representing Palace, so let's tell you about Palace. Rolling straight to the ceiling, crowns and crystals, top like journeys, dishing out malice. Hold up, South London's grandest, far from bandits. Everything earned for a goal of elevation. Just passing the team over here might finish out. Bright future we can't vanish. SE25 any day, that's sellers. Rev up the engines, no more reverse reactions. Fan cams, bands on stream. Share up the team, support the dream team. When eagles fly, make noise and scheme. Dare to dream or dream to dare. Taking a step to become supreme.
Yes, guys, welcome back to Eagle Eyed Football, and today is the match reaction for Crystal Palace 2, Leicester City 2. Always joined here with some co-hosts. So we've got Dan here. How's it going?
Yeah, good. Just been kind of letting the result yesterday settle. Did watch the game just now, well, some of it anyway, because it wasn't exciting, I don't think. So I kind of drifted off a little bit. But yeah, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm okay. As you said, just reflecting on the game that happened yesterday. I haven't watched any of the football today because, if I'm really honest, if it's not Palace related, I couldn't care less. But I just want to know what's wrong with this software, man. Like, how comes it's just so difficult to use? Or not difficult to use, just doesn't seem to work for everyone.
It's just teething errors. I mean, it might just be a case of, like, for me, I don't know if it's the link that I'm doing. Maybe I'm just not signed in properly or something. I don't know, but I'm sure we can figure it out.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, that's a small plus. I'm going to try and rotate my camera, see if it makes any difference.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, man. I'm having issues with my laptop. But yeah, well, listen, the TV problems will solve it out. I don't even know where I'm supposed to be looking on this phone as well. I mean, towards the camera. There we go. It looks mad like that. Big up, everyone.
100%. Big up Tim in the chat saying big up JC, Dan, and Rich. But it was a frustrating watch yesterday. Big up the Goat, big up Dan and Delayed Response FC, and big up yourself, Matthew. Well, what we were saying before we actually went live was we thinking, let's just do a quick stream. But then with all these issues, we're already 6 minutes behind. So I guess it'll be even quicker. Anyway, Dan, it was 2-2. Is it a good point, or are we still disappointed?
No, it's not a good point. It's not a good point. I think the only way you could possibly spin it as being potentially a good point is that we were 2-0 down, but we should never have been 2-0 down. Like, if it was maybe another mid-table team like Brentford or West Ham or someone like that, then yeah. But at the end of the day, this is a home game against a team that's been promoted. Granted, their team is probably better than your average, promoted championship side. But even still, like, I think it was just very disappointing because we're all expecting 3 points and we've come out of it with 1. Even if it was the away game, I could probably maybe get around it and say, okay, point's a point away from home. But like at home as well, it's just not. No, I can't. No, it's disappointing.
Mm-hmm. Rich, what do you think was the problem? Was it the lack of speed, the lack of intensity in our team, or was the tactics wrong?
Lack of speed, lack of urgency, and we've completely forgotten how to defend. Don't ask me how. Don't ask me. I don't know how that's happened, but I think the lack of speed and intensity, we can work on that. I have had a bit of a sleep, and this is why we do this the day after. It gives us an opportunity to look things over. I mean, obviously, we've got new players. Things will take time. Things will gel. But what I saw of that last half hour, I was happy. I was happy with the intensity. That's what I want to see going forward. I think I would have been a lot more concerned and worried had we just played the same way we played the first 60 and ended this game that same way. We showed like we can do things a lot quicker, and that's why I feel like Hughes played a massive part in that. Eddie played a good part in that. and also Sara and Daichi. They just obviously the substitutions coming on injected a lot of pace into our attacks and stuff. And I don't think going forward's been a problem for us all season. It's not been taking our chances. We took our chances yesterday for the most part. I think Ep should have scored in the first half. But it's defending that was our biggest issue. And defending was what was the key thing last season, which helped us build the platform to be able to go forward. So, yeah, it's disappointing.
Yeah, I think one thing that we have to remember with our defending, especially in the Leicester game, that we are playing a brand new centre back in a role that he's not used to. I'm sure that when either Richards or Riyad is back, I'm sure that Maxence Lacroix will move over to the right or into the centre when these players come back. But then it raises the question of why didn't we play Lacroix on the right and then Richards on the left, and why was we still playing Klein? Because granted, Klein had a great game, and I see why we didn't drop him. But potentially, after seeing us go down 2-0 so quickly, maybe the swap to that extra centre back was probably the thing to do. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm wondering. I mean, I'm surprised he went like that because, from what I remember, he never played left centre back at Wolfsburg. He might have done like once or twice, but nearly always he was either the right sided centre back in a back four, or the right sided centre back in a back three, or occasionally in the middle. So I did think that was a bit odd. The only thing I can think is maybe he thought Klein would just be better at pushing up than Lacroix. Maybe it's just an experiment for him. I don't know. Maybe he just did put him there and thought, okay, see what he can do. If it goes wrong, it goes wrong. If it goes right, it goes right.
But bearing in mind what you said about this being a 3-point game, why would we start experimenting if it was a must-win game?
Well, he's got history of it. I mean, we've all seen the tweet of like he takes. I think the longest time it took him to get a win at the beginning of the season was 7 games, and he actually I think that's the season where he changed from a back 5 to begin with at Wolfsburg to a back 4. So I think he's more just that he's got a bit of history with that. Do I necessarily agree with that? No, not really. But I don't really know why he played him at left centre back, to be honest. But yeah.
Quite a few of our players struggled. Like Adam Wharton didn't have his best game. Chet Decore obviously got fouled so many times he came off injured. But I think someone that really struggled in my eyes was Tyreek Mitchell. Rich, what do you think went wrong with his game, or is there a way that maybe he can get back to his old self that he was last season or at the end of last season?
I think this was just a one-off. I think it was a one-off. He definitely still needs rest. You know, to think that like some of the international players have gone off and they've come back and they're still feeling a bit leggy. Even though he didn't go on an international break, he plays 90 minutes pretty much every time. You know, there's no cover. And granted, look, if circumstances were different, I'm sure he might have come off for Franco Ube, you know, or even Jeffrey Schlupp playing down left wing back. But I don't know what it was with. He didn't bomb us forward as much as he usually has in the first couple of games, which I noticed. When he did get forward, every pass went back to Lacroix. I'm starting to think now, how much is Ebbs' current performance a hindrance to him? Because Ebbs normally makes an option. I mean, like I said, granted, towards like once we went 2-0 down, he played a whole lot better, you know. So did Ebbs, funny enough. But I think he's decided, you know what, is there any point of me bombing forward? Because I'm not going to get past the ball. You know. But yeah, all round just wasn't his best. But yeah, I ain't got no issues with Mitch, to be fair.
I think what you said there is quite interesting about Eze, because there were times in the game where Mitchell was running into space, and then Ebbs should have made an option either inside or running in behind, but Ebbs would basically run up to him and stand next to him and get the ball off him, and then Ebbs would have everything to do all over again. Whereas if he kept running, Mitchell maybe could have found a pass round the player. Maybe if he ran, he could have found that space could have opened up for a pass inside to JP or Nketiah. I think I agree with you. I think the fact that Ebbs was so on his feet and he was so insistent on coming short to get the ball, very similar to what we all got very frustrated with Zaha doing under Vieira, because that's sort of what happened. And I think that at the end of the game, Eze stopped this hero football thing and he actually started playing like a team player. But up until we were 2-0 down, he was doing a hero football thing again. He weren't passing, making the wrong decisions. Do you think he doesn't trust the people around him yet, Dan? As much as he did with Michael?
Maybe like subconsciously. I mean, I don't think I can't imagine he would actively be thinking that in his head. Maybe. I mean, I think like because I mean, it was a problem last season as well. Like when Elise didn't play, Eze seemed to wanting to do everything himself. I mean, to be fair, I don't think the way we played really helped the situation because it kind of forced him to drop deeper. / he was dropping deeper. And then from when you're in that deep position, you're already like on the back foot. And also, I think Leicester did really well to like come up and face us when we did get the ball. And I think it did make it a lot harder, especially yesterday. I mean, I'm hoping that with time, Eze kind of loses that mentality a little bit because he seemed like he couldn't even take people on yesterday, which is very unlike him. Obviously, we've seen him glide past players. I mean, I'm just hoping that like Nketiah and a combination of Nketiah and Kamada is able to kind of fill in that Elise gap. Obviously, time will tell, but I think if they do, then we will see an Eze that is a bit more of a, it's going to sound harsh, but a team player.
And on the back of that, I am going to sympathise with Ebbs a little bit because with Michael, he knew it's going to be Michael. But game in, it's Ebbs and question mark. We've had Kamada there, we've had Sarr there for a bit, we've had Nketiah come now and play in that position. You know, it's always changing. You know, so how do you build chemistry? You know,
they'll probably come after a few games, won't it? Yeah. With Glasner finding his best 11, and then
I think we're just better off playing Ez as a sole 10 because then at least defensively, I don't think they'll be able to pass through the lines as easy. Like Leicester pass through our lines very easy. You know, I think we should go 3-4-1-2 going forward.
So having 3 in midfield instead of just 2.
Yeah. Granted, that's going to mean Mitchell and Munoz have to be that outlet down out wide, but it's worth it.
Is Mitchell capable of doing that though? Because I wholeheartedly believe Munoz could do it because he's got, even though he can't do much on his left foot, he can still cross with his left foot. He can still shoot with his left foot. He can still pass with his left foot. Mitchell can't do anything with his right foot. Do you think that maybe? And I've never seen him take on someone successfully. Do you think Mitchell's able to do that role if it came to it?
I mean, if it goes to a 3-4-1-2, Mitchell could still stay on the left-hand side.
Yeah, but he'd have to beat someone. He'd have to run down a line.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't see him doing that.
But these players they get thousands of pounds. I'm sure they've got to adapt. You know? Or, like I said, Ebbs could then just make sure he's, as a normal 10, just making sure he's an option either side. You know, I think
that's the thing. I think the reason why that right-hand side was so poor yesterday was because Munoz was so isolated because credit to Leicester, they recognise that Klein likes to bomb forwards and they kind of dealt with him a little bit. And then when that happened, Nketiah was so narrow with Mateta, I thought sometimes, that it just didn't give any outlet over there. I think if Ebbs is going to be the sole 10, he'd have to be able to drift out both sides and then provide that. If he can do that, then great. But that's what he would need to do.
Well, here's another thought that obviously the right hand side wasn't as much of a problem when Doucouré was on the pitch, but when it was Hughes and Wharton in midfield, everything seemed to go to the left side. And is that because they're both left-footed? That it's easier to pass out to the left side than hook it around to the right side, maybe? So maybe with Decore or Lerma, and it'll be easier to utilize that right-hand side a little bit more.
I think Leicester forced us that way, to be honest. I think they knew our right-hand side is more dangerous in terms of attack. I like Mitchell, but you saw the amount of times he just dithered on the ball. All he needed to do was just do a little, just a bit more of a positive touch, get the ball in, or we don't really see him take people on, but take someone on or something like that.
And with Mitch, I don't even think he needs to be taking players on. His crossing has become better. Just one touch out your foot or whip it in. And the more you do that, the more defenses go back, which means you don't have to then cross it more often. You find more space. I think because he kept passing back, Leicester were thinking, bro, we can push out here. And fair play to them, they kept nicking it in crucial areas, especially in that first half. I mean, if they were more ambitious, I think they could have gone and scored 3 or 4, but they weren't.
Because their subs at like 70 minutes. It just said that they're sticking out for a 2-1 win, didn't it?
Yeah.
Also, we put the link in the chat. So if you guys want to join it, it looks a little bit different to the link that we normally put in, but it is the same link. It should work the same. Let's hit some comments first. Big up Early Doors Football. Smash like. Thank you very much. Tim is here. Tim can go through these comments. Tim, how's it going?
I'm all right. Disappointed. I was saying that I agree with what you were saying about that last 30 minutes, Rich, that I was glad to see Glasner go for it. I think you said this too in the your after match comments, JC, about it is encouraging to have a manager that's I will not settle for this. It almost felt like Glasner was offended that we were down 2-0. And I did kind of like that. I need that from our manager. But yeah, it was a frustrating watch. Can I ask you guys a question about what you were just saying there about Ty and about taking on players going down the left? Do you think that's why he's interested in getting Ume into the side? I've watched Ume and he doesn't know anything about defensive positioning from anything that I could see so far. So that's a real risk. But what he can do, he does have pace, and he will take on players, and he will run into that left channel and provide a threat. So is that one of the reasons you think the Glasner wants to get him into matches where he can?
I reckon he'll start against QPR.
Yeah.
You do? Okay.
I think so. And mainly because Mitchell just needs a rest, but I think actually having a forward-thinking outlet on that left-hand side as well. I would say I'm surprised that we're choosing Ume over Teo, because in my eyes, I think Teo's got more first team, more men's football experience already. For that, I guess, that bench role for us at the moment.
But you know what I think might happen? I think Taylor will come back. I don't want Mitch to go, but I'm sure someone will be in for him.
The thing is we've all said it. In a back four, Mitchell is great. But it's this wing-back role that just doesn't seem to suit him very well. And that's probably why we was looking at a Kostic on deadline day, why we was looking at an Archie Brown on deadline day, why we was looking at a Gosens on deadline day. This is what we was looking for, these forward-thinking, attacking wing-backs that can take on players. And I think that's what Glasner wants. And if he sees the best option for that at the club at the moment is Franco Ume, then I'm sure that he's going to try and give him as many minutes as possible. I wouldn't say maybe to take Mitchell's spot in the team, but maybe to be that attacking outlet later on into the game to try and win a game or to break down a defense or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. And I mean, I think also on the slowness which was another big frustration. I think Leicester getting into us and honestly challenging every pass. They were coming up and challenging for every ball. And it's like I think all of you said at one point, it was surprising that rattled Kleiny. But I mean, when a team plays slow, I think there's 4 reasons a team plays slow, and I wonder how many of these we're exhibiting right now. Confidence is one, fitness is another, quality is another. I don't think we lack quality. We might lack a little bit of fitness, and we clearly seem to lack some confidence. And I mean, what do you do with that? The other one is just that you are out of sync. Like you just don't have enough time together. And so you don't know instinctively where the runs are going to be. So when you don't know that, you slow down. Or when you lack confidence, you slow down. And Ebbs seems to be a player that, like Hughes sped up the game. Ebbs doesn't, I don't think he, like watching him yesterday, I don't think he speeds up the game. He plays into the flow of whatever the game is. Like if the game is slow, Ebbs plays slow. If the game is fast, he's on it. And when the game is fast and he's on it, he can be unplayable, which is weird of a player of that quality. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do get what you mean there.
Yeah, it's a bit. I don't really know what to say because Ebbs is just one of those players that he's a match winner, so you can't actually take him off the pitch, can you?
I know. Yeah.
So no matter how he's playing, it's like Zahar all over again, isn't it? You just can't take him off because he has the ability to produce that little bit of magic to win a game or to get a goal out of nothing. But if he's just not on it, like, I don't know, is it a statement to the manager to maybe take him off, to maybe try and change the style a little bit? But you just can't do that with him, in my opinion.
To answer your question, Tim, on how to improve playing faster, this is what we do. Number one, we give it to Adam Wharton and Chet Corey a lot quicker from our backline. A lot quicker. Number two, we have to trust that long diagonal pass to Munoz. Because that's what Anderson did. And granted, listen, we're going to miss Anderson's pass. Obviously, he's lacked the pace. His defending sometimes could be off, granted. But that pass forced teams back. And it also put us in dangerous areas. Munoz was screaming the ball for the ball pretty much all game. And every time it went to it, I know he was offside a few times, but that's because he's made a run, the ball hasn't come, and then it's like a split second too slow. So by the time he tried to stop and get back onside, he's offside again. You know, so once we get the ball to Munoz, then I think we'll start be able to shuffle players over a bit more and then work in unison. We did all right down the left-hand side with Ebbs and Mitchell, even though it should be quicker. We just got to get it down the right-hand side. And once we get the balance right, we're going to be causing teams problems. We weren't even good yesterday and came away with 2 goals. You know? Yeah. So it's just about speeding up the play because we're good enough. Adam Wharton shows that. Like, his one-touch passing ability is unreal. You know? If we do that a lot quicker. And also, another key factor is that Mateta's got to hold up the ball a lot better.
He had balloon touch the other day, didn't they?
Couldn't trap cement.
Do you also think with what Tim said about one of the factors being out of sync, do you think maybe doing so much business on deadline day as well is a factor to that? Because 2 of the deadline day deals started, and granted they had a whole week of like a international break to get adjusted to the system, but Nketiah said in his interview, I haven't played a full 90 in a long time. So he hasn't had consistent football. So he's still a little bit rusty as well. And I'm sure.
How good was he, though?
He was good.
I thought he was good.
He was
still a 5.
He was good. Yeah.
And also, Lacroix had, I think, 2 weeks off at Wolfsburg through injury and then just coming back into this game as well. So maybe there's a little bit of ring rust for those 2 guys coming into the game as well. On top
and here's
of
why
deadline day.
I would start our strongest side on Tuesday. Team just needs to get battered.
Yeah,
that's what we need.
Nketiah and Lacroix, they just need game time to get back up to speed again. So I would start them both. But I'd think that after what I've seen, I think Kamada deserves a start in that game. I think Sarr deserves a start in that game, actually up front or on the right this time.
Rest Ebbs. Put Ebbs on the bench just to get just a bit of rest.
But the rest of the team is a bit of a madness to pick out, really, isn't it? You probably got Uma on the left, midfield of Hughes and Lerma, maybe. Who'd you put on the right, though? Because Munoz is literally our only right wing back.
Well, Klein's meant to be the cover.
Yeah, could you do Klein and then it'll just have to be another centre back in?
You could do Klein.
Yeah, because it could still be Lacroix, Gay, and Richards.
Yeah, you could do that.
To be honest, I think seeing the team that he put out against Norwich, I think he'll go stronger than that.
Oh, you do, yeah?
Unless it's like a caveat, like Wharton has got that weird injury or something like that. I think he'll play a strong side.
I generally think he's going to go for this cup,
Yeah,
I think so too. We need to go for a cup competition. We've waited enough time to actually go for it, because the few times we've actually gotten pretty far, we've sort of scraped through. Luckily, with like weakened sides, and then before you know it, we're pretty far in them. We're thinking, oh, we might as well go for it now. So if we go for it at the start, we'll have the mentality of trying to win it the whole way through, and that might actually get us a little bit further. Maybe, but
this is what I like about him, though. It's like every game is a game that we should win. That is the mentality. Whether or not but Glasner coming into every game saying we go into every game to win it is brilliant. That's exactly what I want, cup or not. That's what I want.
That's what
as a fan. I've been desperate for that. Like that is. No matter what else, that mentality actually gives me, even though it wasn't a great performance yesterday, I can still live with it is a disappointing point, but I can still live with it knowing that the manager, he said, I think it would have been better if he called it a bad performance, but he said it was okay football. Then we need to get to good football, and then we'll get to excellent football. So he's saying that we were nowhere near what he's admitting. We were nowhere near where we're supposed to be, which is accurate. I'm tired of being gaslit. So, right?
100%. And we know the kind of football we can play as well.
Right. Yes.
Because we've shown it at the end of last season. But one thing that I feel like we all need to speak about as well before we finish this off, Henderson. He needs to be better at coming off his line.
He's inconsistent in this area, isn't he? Some days he's like command of the box, and others he forgets that he is in command of the box, which is weird.
I think after the goal, he did it really well. He was a lot quicker off his line. So maybe he realised, sugar. Because I think if he does come off his line there, I think Vardy doesn't get that chance. Granted, that pace for against Gay was mad.
But you know what, though? I still blame... as much as I do agree that Hendo has a big role to play in that goal, it
starts from Mateta, by the way.
It's Mateta, 100% Mateta. Sorry, Sheikh Decore. I didn't really. I thought you passed it. It was Mateta that passed it. Mateta, it's your fault.
It is, but you know what? When Vardy's coming in like that, Mark has got to call it. Mark is right there. He's got to call it. It's either his man or it's not.
And he's the captain now as well, so he's got to make those decisions.
He's got to do it. If he's gonna ask Henderson to come out and wipe out Vardy and take command, then he's got to call it and say, get out here and take this. But he doesn't, and now we're both in no man's land, and you leave somebody like Jamie Vardy, a player of that quality, and you leave both of you in no man's land, it's a goal every time. But yeah, your point about Mateta's right. But that really, Mark had a bit of a that's his worst game in a Palace shirt by a mile.
Definitely, 100%.
Because even if I would even think that even if Mark didn't give him a call, I think that Henderson should come out and wipe them all out anyway. Just anything agree. And just get the ball.
Sure, I agree. I mean, that's fair.
But it's just, as you said, Henderson's just inconsistent, isn't he? Because sometimes he can kick, and yesterday it was a day he definitely couldn't kick, could he? He tried to find Munoz out wide and hit it straight down the middle of the pitch.
So you're saying Dean Henderson is not Joaquin Anderson?
That's what you're saying. He's not Sam Johnstone, because he would have made that
Sam
pass.
Johnston either. Yeah.
I keep saying this with Chairman. If you could merge Henderson's saving ability with everything else of Johnstone, you'd have an incredible goalkeeper.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
That's just not the case at the moment.
Yeah.
And also, we spent so much on Henderson, you can't get rid of him for someone you got for free, can you?
No.
But overall, before we round this out, taking everything into account, is this still a bad point?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is. I'll be intrigued to hear Tim's player ratings. I'll show us up to you.
Okay, Tim, do you want to run us through your player ratings then real quick?
Jeez. I mean, I was way more generous than you guys were. And I thought giving Ty a 2 and giving Mark a 3 was shocking, Rich. Shocking. You cannot give Ty a lower rating than Mark. Even no matter how bad he was, he still gets the assist.
Can I justify that, by the way?
Well, technically, the assist was offside.
Can you justify that? I don't know that you can justify that, but you can try.
He ducks when that ball went up from the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, all round, minus the assist, he didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Mark, all right. Touch and go with the first goal, whether it's his fault, whether it's not. But I think after that, he settled.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. And I'll tell you why.
All right, go on.
I'll tell you why. Let me give you
justice
the reason.
For Tyreek Mitchell.
Justice for Tyreek Mitchell. But how many times I go back and watch? How many times did Mark let the ball bounce? We had a clear chance to win an aerial, and he lets it bounce. I just don't understand. I have not seen Mark do that.
Was that the time when he let it bounce? It went straight under his foot, right?
I mean, he was
Why did you let it bounce?
He was so tentative. Gosh. He was so tentative that
it was his worst game, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
He was.
All right, Tim. Yeah. Tim. They can be on the same score then.
All right, fair enough. But I get where you guys landed on all of your ratings. So the only one I would change, I would have been higher on. You guys gave Glasner a 5. I would have been higher on Glasner because none of this is on him, as far as I'm concerned. And the subs that came in genuinely did change the game. Like. So
to be fair, Tim, I thought that as well when I watched it back. I was just annoyed we didn't win the game.
Yeah.
So annoyed.
But this is the thing. Like, Glasner did his job, and the players did not do their job. So you know what? I think your ratings generally harsher than I would have been, but I can't really, except for Mark and Ty, but otherwise, fair enough. But Glasner, I would have gone higher than 5. I'll concede that my rating, which was 7, might be too high, so compromise on a 6. But he was good. He came into the match with a plan, and we didn't execute it, right?
Mm-hmm. And also, he threw caution to the wind and tried to get us back into the game, and he did it.
Yeah, that's true. We actually played 2 at the back, which was crazy.
Yeah, we had 2 defenders on.
But I mean, look, that's what I want to see. We should believe that we can win matches. And if we're going to believe that we can win matches and we don't try to win matches, then what are we doing? Mm-hmm. He's doing what we expect him to do.
100%. Pat, how's it going? Thoughts on the game real quick?
I thought that Glasner was too cautious from early on because I generally thought that it took.
Pat, you're gonna set Tim off, boy.
I mean, he said early on, so let's let him cook.
So I thought that the first goal that we conceded was a was quite a good crossing, and it was a good sort of fourth dribbling for Vardy. But the second goal, I thought we were too naive, and I feel like the whole game we were so naive. Despite Kamada being on the bench, sort of Munoz did what Kamada did when he was on the pitch at Chelsea. He used to do all of these weird, like when he would pass back and he'd automatically think there was somebody there, and I felt it was just hurry up and pass. Like, even if it's the most basic of passes, pass to I don't know, guys to the left or guys to the right that you can see, or, and I know this is a bit crazy for Munoz to do, but just shoot, or Camera does shoot. I still feel like we're still too reserved for our own ability, and I feel like we're too in the mindset of Glasner and not taking our chances and leaving it too late. But I'd say we were great. Just Mark was thought he could be an attacker, or he was once again naive. Like his attacking into the midfield line, we shouldn't be. He should just stay there. We took our time too much. It was frustrating for me. Lacroix was doing what he got told, but Mark should understand that sometimes as much it might make Oliver get a bit annoyed and be like, why didn't you do what we told you to do? Maybe change up a bit and then maybe try to progress the ball quicker. It was very infuriating.
So are you putting the blame on Glasner for how he set up the team, or are you putting it on the players?
I think it's one, taking your time too much, and it's also in some ways, and I know Glasner's helps us go quicker with the ball. I think in some ways Glasner likes to pass back too much and doesn't mind shooting from unheard of positions. Like, I feel like the people that should be shooting are told to pass forward and be a bit more passive than what their current ability should be.
Mm-hmm.
I think that word naive is. I agree with that. Really. I generally think probably the players thought, we're gonna roll Leicester over.
Probably
They
because most of our fans thought the same thing as well, which probably makes it why everyone's so down about this result in the first place. Because even though they are a promoted team, no game in the Premier League is ever easy, is it?
No.
But we are currently going into the Newcastle Wolves game, which I'm sure people are going to go and watch, or are watching on their other screen right now. Tim's smiling. He's definitely doing that. He's definitely doing it.
Caught me.
But yeah, other than that, I think that's about it. Tim, you don't have any social medias, but you do have.
No, but if you want some content, the Motley Fool Money podcast, I'm on there from time to time. Learn about investing. I think it's number 9 finance podcast in the UK. So sometimes if you want to listen to my rants about stocks, I am on there. You can get it in the UK. So Motley Fool Money.
Sweet. Pat, is there anywhere people can find you other than the Eagle Eye Football comments?
No, just here being triggered for no reason.
Fair enough.
Nice.
Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. This is the Leicester vs Crystal Palace match reaction.
Quickly, a reminder of this week, just because obviously it's going to change a bit. So tomorrow we'll still have the WSL and Academy Lowdown, which is a good one. I think we have some good results this week, plus some more signings for the women. We're at QPR on Tuesday. So Tact Eagles Wednesday now. Thursday's nothing nowadays, which I like our new timetable. It gives a little bit of a break. And then Friday, from Friday onwards, we're prepping for Man United, which will probably be very busy. I can imagine I'm going to get about 10 different channels. Like, can you join my stream?
Okay, well, the QPR vlog in that case would be very. It depends on how much stuff we record for QPR. Because if it's a lot, the vlog ain't coming out that night. Ain't no way.
So
I need my McDonald's reaction. I need my McDonald's
I will do a short for you, Tim, if I can't get
Brilliant.
it in time.
Brilliant. Thank you.
We'll discuss it in the back, maybe tweaking the.
Yeah, maybe doing tactic on Thursday, but I'm not sure. We'll need to ask Dan.
Who's the guest? Who's the guest for United?
Don't know yet.
Don't know yet.
Anyway, we can't let you know what we're cooking behind closed doors. So anyway,
secret.
I think I know why. I think I know why you.
Anyway, we're out.
Get that fraud here.
Eagles.